For those listening in the podcast format, we're just getting ready to do our live stream.
Welcome.
Thank you for listening. We love
Thank you for coming in. Hello.
It's been really interesting. We've had listeners all over the freaking world I've been checking out. And I've been checking out the listeners because I can't see them. But let me pull up this graphic here. Sorry, folks. This is some boredom stuff here. Me and old Jack are going to talk over real quick while we do our live stream. While someone is trying to get into my door.
Literally didn't even wait 10 seconds after we started. Like 10
I know,
seconds.
that's exactly how it works. Will you go check on that real quick? Thank you. So, we do the live stream, and people start knocking on doors. Anyway, hi, we're live. I wasn't going to eat, thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Every time. Jack, come back here. Okay, I guess we'll start over. Because this is taking too long. Good God. No. This is taking too long. Get over here. Anyway, welcome to Vanishing Gates. I am Jay, and this person next to me is...
It's Jack. I'm Jack.
And without fail, every time we try to go live, someone starts pounding on the studio door. It's ridiculous. They know we're going live. Unlike the listeners, they know we're going live because it's like, hey, we're doing a live stream tonight. And they can physically hear me say it in person in front of them. And yet they still insist on trying to get in here every time. This is Vanishing Gates.
You know, I just realized that I haven't smoked enough when all of a sudden I accidentally inhale and my entire system just goes, oh, God.
Yeah, no.
I got to get back to it. I used to just be able to, like,
I don't know if
inhale
you
it through every orifice.
Frequently. You smoked quite a bit way too early, way too long. Way too early. Not
so
the reefer
good for me
either, or the meth, just the cigars.
It was healthy for me. The meth was also very healthy for me.
I suggest you don't do that.
Oh,
I'm
don't
not a
do
doctor,
meth?
but my suggestion would be don't do that.
Well, you can't get addicted to it, I hear.
We are approaching the season of miracles. Did we do the intro already, or did I just say this Vanishing Gates and did I actually go anywhere with that?
No, we didn't go over that.
All right, well, I'm Jay, and this guy next to me is, I think we did this part already, though.
Hi, I'm Jack.
Yeah, anyway, so, yeah. Fun times.
I gotta stop tapping that. I gotta get.
Yeah, you really have to get used to that.
It's not working.
You have to mute these springs and these new microphone stand things. It's so strange. So anyway, as most of you know, we are approaching the season of miracles.
Miracles.
Mm-hmm.
Seasons of
the season of giving, season of love and compassion, and trick or treating.
Mm-hmm.
And what better gift to give someone?
You know what I like to think? You know what I really like to think? I like to think if Jesus was alive today, he would endorse Halloween first.
This is why we can't have nice things. What better gift to give someone during the season of miracles than a gift card or an instrument from Mantova's 2 Street Music here in Eureka, California, our sponsor.
Yeah.
How good would that be?
I love Mantova's.
Dude,
that's the place. So every time I go in there. Every time I go in there.
Those of you watching the live stream, you'll see our Casper Funko Pop because I drank the Kool-Aid and decided to jump on board with every other streamer.
I need to take all my guitars home now. Because I left them with you when I left town. When I left town for a while.
The one guitar you left here?
No, I have an acoustic and
you have an
electric,
and you have a kid's guitar you left here.
No, I have my electric one here.
Oh, the Ibanez I gave you?
Yeah, my Ibanez.
It's an Ibanez. You don't have to tell me that Banderas that. So the other thing I want to talk about.
All right. Did I leave my speaker here?
I have no idea what speaker.
I have like a small one.
This is not working well for a show. I'm not really certain.
I don't know why we're continuing with this
today. Anyway, this keeps happening. We got thrown through a loop when the door got knocked on. You should eat that Philly cheesesteak sandwich, though.
I really don't want to.
It's actually really good. I can't eat. So, anyway.
I actually ate before I got here, so.
Good for you. So, the other thing about the season of miracles is trick-or-treating is going to be happening soon. The ne'er-do-wells do come out in force during this time of year as well.
Nary do they well.
And, it's very important to learn to defend yourself. To toss them hands.
Oh, yeah. You got to learn to throw down.
And where would you suggest someone learns to throw down?
Boxing ring, judo. Oh, wait. There's a really great place. It's on Gin and Tully, right?
Gin and Tully. It sounds like a fucked up drink. Gin and Tully Lane in Arcata, California.
Yeah, it'd be like Lost Boys, right?
Yeah, Lost
Only
Boys.
the best jiu-jitsu in all of our area. And California, probably.
You want to keep some dudes off you.
Oh, yeah.
Or really get them on you.
No, I mean, if you want to get it really close. If you want to give them some hugs.
Gym sweat going.
Some professional hugs.
And still learn to throw hands.
You got to learn how to do professional hugs. That's
Train
why
with the best, Lost Boys.
coach there. I always loved it. He has a shirt that says "Free Hugs." His favorite joke of a jiu-jitsu wrestler or grappler. What is the term? Is it grappling or wrestling? I've done it, but I do jiu-jitsu, but I don't know what the term would be.
They literally mean the same thing.
I started too old. Started way too old.
What?
Doing jiu-jitsu. Started old. Start while you're young.
You didn't start old. I started old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, start young.
How did I not start old, but you started like 12 years before me?
I didn't start Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
You started
until I
jiu-jitsu,
was
but you
older.
already started martial arts.
Yeah, I did other martial arts. I didn't do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's the one thing I didn't do. That's all right. The oldest decided she wanted to toss hands at me today and practice her Muay Thai.
Oh, yeah. She doesn't do that, does she?
She's got quick hands.
She does love to punch people.
Damn teenagers. Anyway, so the season of miracles once again is upon us. As I said, like 14 times now in 10 minutes at most. 12 minutes and 40 seconds and boom, boom. So, yeah. We do want to talk about, because we're coming up on Age Day, a Halloween movie every show. A suggested horror movie, whether it be campy or scary.
Shall we discuss one, or each of us come up with one to discuss?
I think let's do this time you talk about the one you had, and then next time we'll try to figure out a little more clear and certified before we have people knocking on the fucking studio door and then you forgetting your pants.
Sounds good.
Anyhow.
All right, are we there now?
Yes.
I wasn't sure if you were done with your introductions.
Yeah, I figured you'd be talking about the movie you're suggesting for Halloween.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to talk about a classic. It's great. It stars Sam Neill, Jurassic Park fame. Now, this movie is amazing. In the Mouth of Madness.
Yeah, I knew exactly where you were
Sutter
going.
Kane.
It's a fucking awesome movie.
I fucking love that movie. That's a great movie. It's scary as hell when you first see it, and like when you're young. And the thing is I cannot watch it with my wife because she hates. And it's the worst thing ever because it's one of my favorite movies, but I can't watch it with her during Halloween because the one thing she fears is interdimensional bullshit, like waking up in a different alternate reality. And that first scene with the bike would scare the shit out of her for the rest of her life. That's the one that got me.
Clowns or sharks, which could actually kill me, but the interdimensional stuff, that's really
I really don't want to talk to her about Bigfoot and his interdimensional travels.
Oh, I grabbed some Bigfoot stickers for the studio while we were out of town last week, and I forgot to bring them in.
He's not an alien. He's interdimensional.
In the Mouth of Madness. Excellent movie. I agree with you fully.
It is a movie about a book, or a writer, actually, an author.
Give a brief synopsis of what it is.
It is a movie about an author named Sutter Kane, and in it, Sam Neill plays. I can't remember his character name. It's been like a year since I've seen it. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so he goes on a trip.
And he works for the publisher.
He doesn't work for the publisher. He's actually an insurance broker or something like that. It's
something to that effect. Yeah,
he's like a risk assessment or something like that. I can't remember exactly. He's like he just discovers things and sees that people are lying. He's like I don't know if he's a lawyer per se. Again, it's been a little bit.
He works for the publisher.
He was hired by the publisher to see where this man had gone missing and to see whether or not it was real or not.
Yeah, what's going on? Like the happenstance of what's going on with Sutter Kane.
Yeah, and so Sutter Kane disappears. And Sam Neill and his the female opposite, I don't remember her name. Like she was, God, who was she? I can't remember the actress. I know her name, but I can't remember her right now.
He was a fraud investigator. Or
yeah, like a fraud investigator. Yeah. That's what I was saying. He's a fraud investigator.
Chat. Could call Harvey in chat.
Yeah, he's a fraud investigator, and it's an amazing movie. And anyway, so they go in the town, and shit just starts to go down immediately. The movie kind of just starts off with did something happen? Did nothing happen? Was that a dream? Was that not a dream? And it kind of just pulls you in, and it doesn't tell you anything until the end. And even at the end, it's very vague. But there is if you watch the end, okay, there's a point. And you're going to see credits roll, but you're not going to see the actual credits. You're going to need to read the credits because that is interesting and cool.
No spoilers, fuckface.
No, because people ignore stuff like
It's
that.
only been around for 25 years, whatever.
It's a hint to watch a very cool
Always watch
thing.
After the credit roll.
What? I'm not spoiling anything here.
No, I'm just saying always watch after
No, it's
the
not.
credit
It's
roll.
not after a credit. It's during the movie. It's still just before the end of the movie.
I don't remember that part.
I'm not going to explain where he is, but you're going to see credits roll, and then you just read the credits. It's really interesting. It's pretty cool.
Oh, I do remember Sam Neill eating popcorn right afterwards and going, "Oh,
Yeah, there's some stuff that's in that that's
Then
really
he was in Jurassic
interesting.
Park.
It's really interesting and cool. And I'm not going to spoil it, but even though it's like a really old movie, most people have seen it by now. It's a lot of people have seen it, but they miss certain things.
Nosferatu is a really old movie. This movie's older. Come on.
Yeah, it's an older movie, fine, but it's an amazingly acted movie. It's done really well. The pacing is great. You always feel like you're right, and it's not too long either. It doesn't overstay its welcome at all.
Yeah, it's dissettling. For sure.
It's dissettling, and it
Unsettling.
never
Dissettling.
overstays its welcome through the entire movie. You are right there on the edge of your seat, just enjoying the entire thing, and it just sucks you in, and you're there. And the thing is it's over before you know it, but it's good the entire time.
It's encapsulating. You really get involved with the character
Oh, yeah.
if you want to.
You'll love it. It's one of those movies beginning to end. It's just fun.
Highly suggest you
Scary
don't
shit.
watch that movie on any kind of drugs.
Do not watch it on drugs.
On any kind,
No.
including caffeine. Just don't. I watched a buddy of mine watch it on LSD, and that was
Oh, you'll go through something.
oh,
That's
he
a
had
changer.
He had a fucking trip.
Oh, not the Carpenters.
He had a
It's
real
one of my favorite
bad
lines of the
trip,
entire
bro.
movie.
It was not funny.
It's
So
only just begun.
okay, that's all we're allowed for fair use is about that much of the Carpenters.
10 seconds.
Close enough. That's all I want to allow. Mills Lane would allow less before he hit you in the face.
True enough. You never know these days. People are horrible.
So we are still getting ready for our live stream Halloween episode from the front yard of my place.
Mm-hmm.
I have not finished decorating. I barely started I almost haven't decorated at all for Halloween, to be honest with you.
We have had a really bad physical, like October and
Oh, dude, my health has
September.
been garbage lately. I'm just.
So since August, I've been in and out of doctors and going to physical therapy because essentially my spine is like it's just giving up the ghost. It's just like, you know what, I'm cool. Here's some bulges. Here's some
Have you
protruding
considered
discs.
losing like 155
Yes.
pounds plus?
Yeah. I am. I'm working on it. But the
I
thing
have
is
a
I have
vacuum
to
cleaner.
get surgery on my spine.
I have a vacuum cleaner and a stiletto. We can just start carving out.
We can do this.
I'm down. I got
It
some
makes sense.
alcohol.
There's a rusty
like
machete over there.
No. You want to use stuff that's clean.
Oh, that's true. You know, we could just fire potatoes, clean it
Well,
up.
You just suction it out, and then you cut the rest of it off afterwards, and just rend it into like lard or soap or something.
This is true.
And
We
sell
can make
it
a
to
good
people that
profit
are
off it,
unexpected.
and I'll be smaller.
Yeah, and you sell it to
This works.
unexpecting folk.
Someone was suggesting to me, they're like, why don't you get that what's the thing? God, gastric bypass. And I was like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that just seems like it would really ruin my love for food.
My doctor or my physical therapist was like, have you thought about that? And I was like, no. She's like, well, you need to control your habits and shrink your stomach. And I was like, Doc, I eat like twice a day. I'm like, and I can't even finish those
but
meals
you
half
drink
the time.
47 sodas every 5
I've
minutes.
actually stopped.
Well, that's good.
Look, does that look like one?
It looks like most of what a soda is, minus the sugar and carbonation and food dyes. This is why you should drink beer. It's
Chemicals.
an appetite suppressant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I should smoke more.
Good
It's
for
also
you.
an appetite suppressant.
Yeah, probably not a good idea. Also, exercising would help.
Yep, physical therapy. It's doing well.
No, physical therapy is not exercise.
Actually, I'm in pool exercises now
Okay, so you
because
swim a
my
lot.
back is because what happens is the way the bulge disc is happening, it's leaning on
my bulge.
the way my bulge is leaning.
God.
The way the bulge disc is leaning in my spine, it's on my lower back, and it's sitting on my it's on top of the sciatic nerve.
Oh, that sucks.
And it's choking out the left half of my leg, like the left my leg. They're choking out my left leg. So my left leg is so weak that my physical therapist tried to move my right leg. They
your
do that.
back is choking out your leg.
Yeah. So the physical therapist tried to move my right leg, and she couldn't move it to save her freaking life. Strong, really strong. She went to move my left leg, and I could not stop her from just wiggling it where she wanted to. And I was just like, "That's not good. That's not good." I said that to her, and she's like, "No, that's not good." I'm like, "Oh crap."
It probably shouldn't work that way.
She's like, "Are you trying to stop me?" I'm like, "I'm trying to stop you right now." And she's like, "This isn't good." She's like,
Resistance is futile.
"You need to." She's like, "You need to lose weight so you can have surgery." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
Yeah, so, you could technically have the surgery, but it wouldn't help.
No, I need to lose weight first. That's what will help the most.
Yeah, that would probably help.
But the thing is she said that I asked her, I was like, if I lose the weight, will I get my feeling in my leg back and the motor skills? And she's like, No, not till you get the disc.
Well, that's what happened to our brother. Is he had to have that emergency surgery on my birthday this last year.
Oh yeah,
and he almost fucking died because he wasn't even getting spinal fluid.
This has been a really bad. This is what we're trying to say. Is this has been this is why Halloween decorations are up, because this has been our last 6 months essentially. It's
No,
just
the reason my
health
Halloween
issues.
decorations aren't up is because my wife got T-boned in our new car. I had to go down south to buy another fucking car last weekend. That's why we didn't do a live show last
I know,
weekend.
you borrowed my car.
Yeah, we borrowed your car, and she hated that all the way down and up.
Good.
Yeah.
I like my car. Why did you? Never mind.
She
We're not
just
gonna
doesn't like driving it.
We're not going to get into that.
Because she has a big butt, and you have a weird seat.
I am 10 times her size. Okay, and I fit in my car.
Yeah, but you
Kind of.
your back kind of goes this direction like a. What would you call that? Like the bottom of a banana, where it first comes out like a pear spinally.
Apparently, I do not have.
Apparently.
I do not have a stenosis like that.
Kyphosis?
I don't have it. I don't have a stenosis. My
I
spine
wouldn't
is
assume
straight.
so.
It's actually where it's supposed to be, and so is my neck.
You just
And
have no ass.
I love it, and I'm so happy about that because I thought for the longest time I had like an S-shaped spine or something like that, and they're like, no. They're like, you're fine. It's just they're like, it's a standard stenosis from weight gain and damage just from not taking care of your back, basically.
It's fine. You're a big fat guy.
They're like, you just need to lose weight and have a little bit of surgery.
In the words of Norm Macdonald, it's fine. You're just a big fat guy.
You're just a big fat guy.
It's a big fat fella.
The Saigon. Okay, we can't go there.
Yeah, that's Chris Farley.
Yeah, we can't go there. Oh, I love Chris Farley. Anyways, so
now we are continuing our. No, we'll actually get to the meat and potatoes of the episode.
We're Hubert Halloween.
Part
What do you
2.
think?
We'll get to that. We talked about that last week.
No, that's true.
We'll get to part 2 of our bad people or bad guys episode. Was it bad people?
Oh,
I can't remember what I
we
called
got a
it.
question in chat from Harvey. From investigator, how about Event Horizon? Even though Lawrence Fishburne tried to fuck it, did Lawrence Fishburne try to fuck up Event Horizon?
Well, I guess we'll find out next week when I have to look that fucking shit up. Thanks, Harvey.
Yeah, no, I'm curious about that, but
All right.
we'll talk about it next week.
Great
Harvey.
movie,
We'll
by
get
the
to
way.
it. It's a good movie. I
We'll talk
love
about that
Sam
next
Neill as an
week. We will
actor.
talk about.
I've never seen a
Horizon
Sam
next
Neill movie I
next
don't
week.
like, if I'm honest. Like with
So,
him in it,
Yeah, we'll have to do
his character, anyways.
I'm going to try to do a couple more episodes this week if my schedule permits. Getting everything done for Halloween, I want to do like at least a couple more, and then do our live show again.
He's like a meth actor, like Brad Dourif, the guy who played Grimble Wormtongue.
I don't know what the hell that means.
Brad Dourif.
I don't know what the other thing was that you were talking about.
Oh, Grimble Wormtongue from Lord of the Rings. He was Theoden's right hand man.
What?
Yeah, he was.
I have no idea
Theoden's
who you're
right hand
talking
man,
about.
the horse lord from Rohan.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, he was the one whispering poisonous lies into his ears and like magic.
Hold on. If I spend 15 hours watching a movie,
You have a good point. Okay, I got you there.
I'll remember every part of it.
Let's
and
keep
every
rolling.
side character. So now,
But you watch 6 days to watch one movie.
Seriously. So you had a topic for this one, a person you wanted to start with because we were talking about our bad guys or bad people, whatever it is, part 2.
Yeah, but then you made me feel like bad about it.
Only because you didn't do any fucking research.
We are going to talk about one of the craziest people in the world, but I don't think he's crazy.
Bette
I
Midler.
think
He.
he's
Sorry.
been experimented on.
Okay, well,
Or he's lying. I think he's afraid of death, and that's why he's not talking.
he's dead.
He's not. Is he dead?
He's been dead for years.
Wait, when did he die?
Years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did so much research on this topic.
did
Don't even
zero
worry.
research.
Don't even worry, everybody. I did research on this topic. You can tell I know the guy was dead for. Okay, I had no idea. So apparently, I didn't do good enough.
I want to
research.
say close to 10 years or more.
10 years. No, because Charlie.
Take.
I thought when I was reading something, I thought he had died. Someone was like talking about him like he'd been alive, and so that's what confused me. Because I was like, I swear I thought he died in prison,
He's been dead for a while.
like 2010, 2011, right?
Yeah, it's 2021.
Yeah, and so I was like, wait, but I thought it was one of those. Hold on, I thought it was one of those instances like when everybody said that like Cedric the Entertainer
Mandela
died
effect.
and that people died. Yeah, I thought it was just one of those
we
things where
haven't
people
done
were
yet?
like saying that someone died. You know, it was just like people talking about like someone had died. So I thought he was still alive because I thought it was just
he's
some
definitely
rumor or some lie. I didn't know he'd
There's
actually
an argument about his son getting his shit when he died,
Oh.
and it was weird because he has a
Well-
living son.
We are going to talk about Charles Manson.
Chucky May.
Chucky May. Chucky May is the karate champ.
Maybe we shouldn't like give him a cute
No,
buddy.
he's not a good person.
No,
he's a
he
really
was not a
bad
good person. Well, he's worm food now, so who the
Oh,
fuck
yeah.
cares?
No, I don't think he's even worm food. The worms are probably like, whoa, we're going to go ahead and back up off this one.
Worms are on LSD after you.
We'll let
So
nature
why don't
try
you
this
talk
one
a
itself.
little bit about Chucky May May.
Chucky May May. You know, I heard rumors that this is just going to be an
Okay, I swear to God, I'm gonna make a Chucky May May shirt. If we hit 1 million fucking views on this episode or downloads,
Chucky May May shirts.
yeah, I'm gonna make a Chucky May May shirts.
But there's stories about him that he was the head of the Manson family. Everybody knows about the murders. We're going to talk a little more about
he
this.
was the actual the eponymous.
He is the cult leader.
He was the eponymous Manson,
Which is really
Manson
weird.
family.
You know, when people talk about cult leaders, everybody wants to mention Charles Manson, but people don't really talk about Jonestown, which is just so strange.
No, we've done that.
We did, but people, when they talk about cults, why is it always Charles Manson's the first one? Because he killed someone famous. That's what it is.
Talk about Jim Jones all the time. It's frequent. I don't know what you're talking about.
They probably confuse it with Jimmy Johnson,
What's Jimmy Johnson?
football coach.
Oh, sounds like a cult leader to me. Anyway, so go ahead.
So, anyways, you know, the probably one of the most known faces for psychosis, like really, truly a psychotic megalomaniac. And the thing is, was it megalomania or was he hiding something? Was he pretending to be crazy? Or was he legitimately absolutely insane of his own? Like, as in he was born insane. He was always going to become insane. It was the inevitable brain rot that takes place when people do drugs. Now, was it forced upon him, such as LSD, like Whitey Bulger claims, when they were in prison? Because around that time, when Charles Manson was put in prison, I believe it was the 70s, he was arrested in 69, 70, 71? I can't remember.
You need to stop and re-listen to that Joe Rogan podcast you're trying to quote here, because
I read like 5 things. Get off my ass. I'm tired.
He would go to this free clinic in San Francisco in Hyatt-Ashbury where the government was literally just pumping people full of fucking LSD.
Holy shit, how do you know this?
I paid more attention to that Joe Rogan podcast. No, it's pretty well known. I mean, there's books about it.
Yeah, I was actually gonna buy one of the books, and then I was like, I'm gonna talk about this now, and I'm like, I was actually about ready to click on it on Amazon, and then you called and you were talking to me, and I was like, crap, this is all I have. I'm just gonna jump head first and not read this book first.
Glad you came into this full hog.
I was gonna read the book too. I was gonna read this book and then come into it, but then you were like, you have to have something. I'm like,
so the way you approach podcasts is much like a guy who talks to a chick at the bar. And you're like, I'm going to bruise your cervix, baby. And then you got like 4 inches of fury. And it just, you should have prepped
You know
better.
what? That is the most ferocious 4 inches anyone will ever get to know.
My buddy would say it's small, but it's angry.
Small but angry.
I promised you a cervical pounding. You'll have to deal with like
Half.
Mild chafing because I didn't shave. This is the kind of quality content people come to Vanishing Gates for.
Anyway, so, you know, yeah, he would frequent this, was it a drug rehab clinic?
It was a free clinic for like health, just a free health clinic in San Francisco.
And but this was also the time when there was a lot of rumors that they were testing on prisoners. Mm-hmm. And this isn't necessarily a rumor because there's so many people that have come forward at that time period that said, we were being tested on.
Well, yeah, but they're, the most trustworthy people in society.
Trustworthy.
People in prison always trust what they have to say.
I would trust someone in prison before I would trust someone out of prison sometimes.
I've never met a person that went to jail that didn't say they didn't do it until after they got out and rehabilitated. And they're like, yeah, I probably did something similar to that, but the facts are wrong.
Okay, hold on.
No one's like, oh, yeah, no, I totally did that.
Do you believe in aliens?
Well, hold on. Like Demi Lovato aliens?
No,
or,
like,
I don't
sorry, do you believe in extraterrestrial beings?
I don't want to be racially insensitive.
Hold on, did you see what Neil deGrasse Tyson responded to that?
Extraterrestrial. And Neil deGrasse Tyson doesn't believe in them. I don't care.
Neil deGrasse Tyson was like, aliens don't have feelings. That was his response.
Not real.
I think that was what he was getting at, was they don't have feelings. And he was just like,
NDT, he wasn't pulling punches. He's like, nah, aliens aren't
Neil
real.
deGrasse Tyson's amazing.
Stupid. Neil deGrasse Tyson, you guys are dumb.
I don't mind if I don't agree with him on everything, but that man is amazing.
Microwaves are super healthy to use.
Yeah, I don't agree with him on everything. But I definitely like Neil deGrasse Tyson. I do.
So Demi Lovato, though, she apparently had a serious blow to her head.
She had a serious blow to her head with several
lots of those.
Several instances of heroin was the blows to her head.
Okay,
by the way,
well, hold on. You weren't there for that. You can't. Prove
She
that.
went to rehab for it.
That doesn't mean she was.
She
doing
came out and admitted she did it.
shooting heroin to her head.
Okay.
think
I don't know if you know this, but your bloodstream goes
I've never
places.
met anyone that shoots heroin directly into their head. This
Which
is
head?
like how
Because
we
I know
kick
people who
off
shoot it into
Halloween
one
films.
head.
You know people that pee inject heroin.
Mm-hmm. I've known people.
Okay, make sure that they don't come around my
Between
house.
their toes, in their groin,
That's.
all sorts of places.
I mean, just don't let them come around my house
They're not allowed anywhere near me right now. I haven't seen them in
right now.
about
Like,
6-7 years.
It's totally cool when you're not shooting pee heroin.
I haven't seen them in about 6 or 7 years.
Go back to butthole heroin. We'll be fine.
Yeah,
But
butthole
if you're-
heroin's where you
if you're
should be.
sticking needles into your dick. I don't want to talk to you. What is this? Fire
If you
in
have
the
to use
sky?
needles and you're not sticking up your butt, you're in a failed situation.
Fire in
You've
the-
gotten desperate. You need to
Fire
work
in
on that.
guy. Good God.
So, anyways,
Terrible. So back to Charles Manson, who I'm relatively certain didn't shoot heroin into his pee hole.
this man was. But the thing about Charles Manson that makes me wonder, like, about his intelligence and how crazy he was because there were also rumors that, well, there wasn't rumors. He had a guard shift, as in, unlike most people, he had to be watched, and he wasn't allowed to have the same guard for
That
multiple
was much
days.
later. That was much later, and that's also not true. I know someone that worked at Pelican Bay while he was there. and
Really?
That's a myth.
So that was a myth.
Yeah, he wasn't that fucking charming. Everybody knew who he was. He wasn't allowed to have cellmates because
You
they
wanna
didn't
talk
want him to
to
get
me?
fucking killed.
Oh yeah, you definitely get
The
murked.
guards would just get tired of hearing his shit, and they do rotations. They like they do anybody else in that kind of situation. It's not like Silence of the fucking Lambs.
Really?
Yeah,
Isn't that who was Silence of the Lambs based off of though? You got my curiosity going there.
Thomas Harris just wrote the Hannibal Lecter character based off psychological studies of people.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
It wasn't necessarily based on anyone directly.
Oh,
At least not that I've heard Thomas Harris talk about it, which he'd be the person to ask because he wrote the fucking book.
all right.
But, you know.
So Charles Manson is. It's interesting because a lot of people don't realize he actually wasn't at the scene of the murders. He wasn't there.
Well, why don't we talk about the lead up and then the murders themselves instead of just talking about Charles Manson and LSD and him
So-
in prison?
Fun fact: Charles Manson had a band.
He was a musician.
Yeah.
The Manson family was the musical group,
And
not just a cult.
during the Summer of Love, he was your what's the word you
Summer
like to
of
use?
Love?
Eponymous hippie. He was
Eponymous
he
hippie?
was
No,
a
no,
hippie.
No. Eponymous does not mean that.
Eponymous? Hippopotamus?
No.
What is eponymous? I know
Okay,
English so well, and you
let
were
me
trying to
explain
tell me what
eponymous
things mean.
means.
Go
Okay,
for it.
so you have
Wait, hold on. Let's just skip that. We'll do it afterwards. Let's keep going with the conversation.
okay.
He's your quintessential hippie. How's that?
That's fine.
He is
That's
the
fair.
he became the face of hippies, and
Yes and no. He was just a dirty hippie.
okay, he was a dirty hippie, and this dirty hippie happened to lead his own little cult. But it was a band at first, I believe, right?
Yeah, it was a musical group. Yeah.
And they attempted to get in. I don't know after the White Album. That's when he really I think got into it was because of the Beatles. He was a big Beatles fan.
There was stories about him sitting underneath the porch of his house, whatever, listening to
The White
Number
Album.
9 backwards or something.
Yeah, like he was getting
Which was,
information from it that there was the Helter Skelter and
Yeah.
Helter Skelter. That's what it was. Helter Skelter from the White Album
Yeah.
of the Beatles, and he was getting messages from it.
Allegedly.
Yeah, and he would.
But
This was
that's also part of that whole satanic panic thing that came out during a similar period of time.
yeah.
So a lot of Christian churches push that stuff, and without any kind of actual evidence. So I don't know if that's actually true.
Yeah, they tried to do that with Led Zeppelin and everything, but
Yeah.
but
Backmasking
the
and shit.
story was this is what was going on at the time. Essentially, was he was a crazy person, but he was before he was known as a crazy person. He had a band, and he met up with a producer, and he attempted to get himself onto an album, or did he try to get an album? That's where they didn't really get an elaboration
So
there. He was just meeting with the
talking to
producer.
one of the Beach Boys.
He was trying to get signed.
He either befriended or had met one of the Beach Boys who introduced him to a producer, and the producer was saying something to the effect of, "Hey, we'll get you on this next Beach Boys album, or we'll get you produced anyway." And where it really goes south is this producer or one of the Beach Boys, I can't remember which one, was actually renting a house from someone.
Mm-hmm.
Or
The producer,
no,
the
vice
producer
versa,
owned
vice
the
versa.
house.
Yeah, the producer
and
or
he
the Beach
moved
Boy owned
out.
the house. It was one of the Beach Boys owned the house. One of the brothers, I believe.
What was his name? It was
And-
like Mansion.
I don't remember exactly. You're the one that wanted to do this topic, bro. One of the Beach Boys, I think it was, owned the house, or the producer owned the house. Well, what happened was he apparently did not work out with this particular group, and so they basically told him to fuck off, and that did not make him a happy camper. And so during this time, you know, either the producer or the Beach Boy, whichever one owned it, I want to say it was like Brian something or another was the Beach Boy. I can't remember which one of them it was, because I'm not from the fucking 50s and 60s.
Yeah, no.
I should know this, though. I used to remember this. They basically bounced out and rented the house out to a Hollywood producer and director and his wife.
Great man.
Whoa.
If great is evil and you are a horrible monster.
Yeah, we don't have to go into that far. It's not really his fault what happened.
I would say it probably is.
I know. You're going to go into that conspiracy here in a minute. But so basically what happens is, you know, the dude and his wife move in. We'll go into who they were. And the dude's out of the country filming something. I think it was like The Exorcist, actually.
Yeah, he was in London.
Yeah,
he was in London.
He was out filming. I believe it was The Exorcist. He was filming it.
Yeah,
at the time, and left his wife, his pregnant wife, there, and they had a party because she was feeling depressed because he was gone. Mm-hmm. And it was Roman Polanski.
Yeah,
who it was? And
Tate.
Sharon Tate.
Sharon Tate.
And anyway, Sharon Tate's bumming out, invites a bunch of friends over as they would do, and this is X amount of time later. And so Manson mentions to Tex, what I don't remember his last name was, something about being upset about it. Mm-hmm. And so allegedly, according to Manson, Tex and some of the girls, the Manson girls, decide that they're going to go and wreak total fucking shit on everybody in that house, not realizing that the person they're mad at isn't even there anymore. Mm-hmm. So go from there.
So what happened was, after the meeting with the producer that he wanted to get involved with, he actually had a few more meetings afterwards with him, which is where this is what he was talking about, the conspiracy theory part. It's not a conspiracy theory. This is known that he had perjurized himself on the stand when he was talking about Charles Manson. He'd actually met him. Yeah, he perjured himself. He had actually met with Manson after the fact, which is why it doesn't make sense that Manson would have been so mad he murdered anyone. And also the fact that that house that he was targeting, the guy had lived in, and he left. Manson knew where this producer was. There was no reason
allegedly
for him to do what he did, except for the fact that when he got the traditional story is what happened was Manson got angry, and then he decided that the Helter Skelter was now, which is essentially a idea for a war between races. And that he believed...
Yeah, I forgot about the vapid racism.
Yeah, he believed that essentially there would be a war between black and white, and that black would inevitably win out. And so he decided to start it by going and committing a sacrifice and making it look like the Black Panthers had done it.
Yes.
Essentially. And there's a whole backstory to this. I don't really want to get into it because it's really political, and I don't know it very well.
Yeah, no, I got
it. But I don't know it well enough to get into it, and which is weird because I've got into this and I don't know it well, obviously. But in this particular instance, I don't
remember all of it.
I don't remember enough to want to give you good enough information. But essentially, he hated, like, in Hollywood there were people who worked with the Panthers. This isn't about whether or not you agree with them, by the way. This is just me telling you what I'm telling you about the story.
Well, there's another theory that they just blame the Panthers because shit went south they didn't expect it to.
There was a few things that this is at this point in time in history, they had actually the government and several people had blamed the Panthers for several things. Well, yeah, and they had already there's a lot of things that happened. There was a lot of just government interference and things that shouldn't have been involved with the Panthers in particular.
Well,
I'm not going to get into it. We shouldn't get into it,
but it becomes a racial issue real fast.
Yeah, there was a lot of meddling that there shouldn't have been. So what Charles Manson was going to do, though, was he wanted his people, according to the traditional story, was to go in and commit a sacrifice and leave voodoo symbols, basically, and make it look like it was black magic.
Yes,
and that
because
it was for
a bunch of
community.
black Baptists are really going to do
voodoo. Yeah.
He didn't think that one out very well.
Apparently he must have gone in the future and watched Predator and thought that everybody walking around was one of the voodoo boys. Yeah. I guess
everybody want to go to heaven. No one want to die. Is that King Willie? Is it?
Yes, I'm just like, apparently he thought everybody was the voodoo boys, but he was an idiot. This is the whole point of this is he's an idiot, and so he had this opinion that they were going to get this race war kicked off, and then they were going to go into a secret, and I shit you not, a bottomless pit essentially. and they were going to come back out after having their little family create a whole new race, and they were going to take over.
That always works really well. It's like no one reads history books.
I don't think he has read a history book. I'm going to be honest.
No, he was kind of stupid.
I'm pretty sure
Here's what
he read the back of an oatmeal box, and that's where he got most of his ideas.
People look at what kind of oatmeal are you fucking buying?
He's on LSD. What do you know?
Okay,
you could have got any information off the back of that oatmeal box.
It's the hieroglyphs.
The hieroglyphs of this oatmeal box.
Osiris is talking
LSD.
to me now.
This LSD is just telling me everything.
I just think it's so weird. People are like, oh, he was super brilliant and like super charming and shit. I'm like, I've seen the guy do interviews. He just sounds like a piece of shit.
He's an idiot. Like the thing is
he seems like a guy with a small dick and a big attitude.
But the reason I was saying that at the beginning that I didn't know if he was an idiot or not, maybe he was faking it, was because this is the conspiracy theory part. Now, I don't know if you want to get into the gory details of what happened at the Tate house.
Yeah, let's do that. So, one of the girls, I think it was, went down to watch the driveway to make sure no one came up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then the tax guy, I think there's another couple dudes there as well, but it was mostly chicks. And these chicks, you see the interviews with them, it's kind of disturbing.
I think Tex was the only guy there, actually.
No,
right?
I think there's a couple more. I could be wrong.
I thought it was only like 4 people.
Tate was super pregnant, and they decided to remove the baby from Tate and then kill everybody else in the house. I can't remember who they killed first. I think Tex shot the first person in the face when they opened the door.
And that actually...
Or they went out to get confronted. A guy went out to confront them, and I think he shot him in the face, was the first one that died. But I can't recall. Are we still getting interrupted while we're live streaming?
Yep.
I'm impressed.
Shall I go away?
No. So, I believe that the first person to get shot was one of the dudes that went down to see what was going on, or went out to confront them because they were because it was like a private drive and whatnot.
Yeah.
The house is still there. Somebody actually bought it and lives in it now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's been sold a few times here and there.
It was actually on Most Haunted or something like that.
Yeah, it's not haunted.
Yeah,
it's not real. No, like people have talked about to live there now. Like,
wait,
this isn't
The
haunted.
murderings aren't
No, the haunting
wasn't
aren't
real.
real. Spoilers, ghosts aren't real.
Like, wait, what?
I know. Every time I say that, I get so much hate from people. Like,
no, I was just like,
how are you
does
gonna
he mean
say
murders or
aren't
ghosts?
real?
Which one?
I didn't say spirits aren't real. I said human ghosts aren't real. Come on, calm down.
So, anyways, they
calm your ghost whispering ass down.
You were going forward.
Anyway, and then for some reason they decided to take the baby out of her belly with a knife or something.
They were trying to make it look like a ritual of some sort.
Yeah,
that's what the traditional story is.
They wanted to be horrible people because they were pretty fucking horrible people.
And they actually went on to murder. Like, I don't think they got caught right away. They actually went.
They
and killed
somebody else. I think they killed a cop or two on the way out as well.
No, they went to someone else's house or something like that, and they killed
did.
somebody.
Yeah, I don't remember all of it. They killed more people,
but
they popped Manson for it. So these stupid bitches are arrested, and I think the Tex guy also was arrested. And you see the interviews with these girls, and they're like, "Oh, he's amazing."
They're absolutely insane.
So cool. Yeah, they're nutters for sure.
They're nuts. And
they were doing definitely a lot of Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds for sure. There was no lack of doing acid among that group. I don't even know if the government had to be involved because they were getting.
I'm pretty sure they just handed them LSD and they were like, "Yeah, cool, okay, cool, we're gonna do this."
Yeah. So Manson eventually went on to carve a swastika on his head in the prison.
Oh yeah.
Pretend to be completely insane every time they went to parole him because they couldn't really keep him permanently.
They didn't really. I don't think they had quite.
They didn't have enough to keep him there for the rest of his life.
He actually got released a couple times, right?
No. He went for parole, and he just went total nutter every time that would happen.
I'm talking about before that.
That's
he had
why
instances.
He carved a swastika in his head.
He had instances with his family beforehand, though, too, where he was arrested several times, and then some.
Well, he had been arrested prior. Multiple times.
There was instances where he got arrested prior, and this is where the conspiracy theories come in. Was when all this was going down, he had been arrested prior to, and for whatever reason, he kept getting out. On almost he assaulted a cop in the middle of attempting to arrest a family member or something like that, and he stopped an arrest basically. He interfered, and he got released like 3 days later, and. No one knows why. And then he got arrested again. I can't remember on what this time, but out of nowhere, he was supposed to stand trial or something like that. He was supposed to stand trial, and he was supposed to be in jail. And out of nowhere, a company that, by the way, didn't exist shortly after this, a company needed him to go do soil research in Mexico, and he was released.
Yeah, there's the idea that he was working for the government or something.
CIA.
Yeah, there's a question. There's a question of that. Was he like a Manchurian kind of candidate? Manchurian kind of candidate there, and I'm going to call bullshit.
Well, the
I
theory
think
is,
if
I agree with the
were to
theory
pay
in one
attention
way.
to reality and
Hold on.
Occam's razor,
Hold on.
I would say the guy was a fucking asshole who dosed everybody up on LSD and then they killed people and he went to prison. And that's pretty much the long and short of it.
Okay, so the reason I can see that he was an asset wasn't because he was smart, wasn't because he was capable. It was because he was insane, and they were able to manipulate the moron easily.
Okay, look, when I say he's stupid, I don't mean he's a moron. The guy, he clearly wasn't so dumb that he wanted to get out of prison because every time they went to parole him, he fucking went nuts.
Okay, but
And they kept him in solitary.
he was a
this entire
useful
time.
idiot for the time that
He
was
ended up
necessary.
actually
for my
getting
belief.
married in prison before he died.
Great.
Really?
Really?
I think some of the Manson girls are actually out of prison, walking around.
Are they?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
I
good.
could be wrong.
I'm so happy with this.
Tex, I think they put to death because he was the one that actually did the killings.
Oh,
Yeah, I think he was actually the one that did the. I know he did the shooting in the face of the one dude.
no.
And then I think he did the knifing of other people and more shooting because there was a shotgun and a revolver as well involved. It was a gruesome scene. I could be wrong, guys. Fact check me here. I know the first time ever I'll ask for Facebook people to fact.
Well, the problem
check
is they
me.
had is that the girls would say that they did the stabbing, and
Yeah,
then they would the
but-
next time on trial they'd be like, "No, I didn't do that,"
Yeah,
and they kept
that's-
flip flopping and saying stuff, and they couldn't peg anything down because no one would talk.
And this is not the time when people were doing a lot of heavy crime scene investigating with DNA and shit. It wasn't really the thing.
Yeah,
at
this
the
is a
time.
different time.
Yeah, this is in the 70s.
People have to realize that this
What-
was a
what year is this,
wholly
like
different
72?
time. 68, 69,
Oh,
I think.
68, 69, shit, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was
So,
in the 60s still because
yeah,
that's
well
when they said
before.
that this is the end of the summer of love. This was the end of the 60s.
It never ended.
No, apparently not. But the reason I say I can believe it is because the government is no. Okay, this is getting political, but the certain agencies.
First of all, distrust of the government is totally normal in this kind of talk show.
Yeah.
I don't know if you met our buddy, the Paranormal Patriot, Tom Vlasis. You should check out his show. Proudly wearing the tinfoil hat.
The government has a tendency to well, whenever you're doing something that they may not particularly want you to do, they send certain watchdogs out, and those watchdogs have a tendency to release things like heroin, crack, methamphetamines into certain communities to disrupt that.
Well, you look
and
at the
break it apart.
Tuskegee experiment. Like, that's that kind of thing. Like, that was just. If you trust your government, you know, Look, I'm not saying all the government's bad. I'm just saying they've lost their way.
The way has been lost since a while now. It's been lost for. It's
lost
been a
since
slow
it
downhill
started.
trod.
You can never give people power and just expect them to do what they're supposed to do. It doesn't work that way, dude. Look at Mark Zuckerberg.
What's the ancient? What's the old? What's the old saying? Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
All right, Uncle Ben.
Actually, it's an older saying than that. Uncle Ben, thank you. That's an old Norse saying, I believe.
No, it's Spooderman. It's all Spooderman.
Swedish? That's what you're saying. Something like
Spooderman.
that. Anyways,
All Spooderman. Uncle Ben and Spooderman.
given all of this power, the government has been known to interfere, and this is why I say that I think this conspiracy may have some merit. That there was someone involved that was pulling strings.
So
That being said, what happened, and you can't change it. But it's always best to look into why something happened. What's the root cause? And people say this is conspiracy theory, but here's the thing. Conspiracy theory is a term set forward to convince people not to look. It's like saying duck, but
Well,
no
I
one
mean,
ducks because now everybody questions
so-
whether or not to duck.
to clarify, we're doing this series of shows. Normally on Halloween we talk about Halloween traditions and whatnot.
Yeah.
But we wanted to talk about the real monsters this year, I think. And
Yeah.
that's humans.
Oh, humans
Like
are
the
the
scariest
scariest
shit on the fucking
It's-
planet.
this is the
are
same thing that-
sharks.
you know, when he
But
talks
humans
about-
are a close third.
Yeah, this goes back to like me talking about the fact that I don't like to go into empty homes or empty buildings or anything like that to do searches, is because
You're scared
I just
of humans?
I just don't like other people. I don't trust them in the dark.
Human bad.
I don't trust human.
I don't mind humans so much. I just know how evil they can be. So what gets me is, the second scariest thing on the list is actually caused by humans. That's the worst thing. The three scariest things in the world:
What was that?
sharks.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3 is humans, and the second one is carnival rides, created by humans.
God,
I'm just telling you.
I've
This is
seen
how it
carnival
is,
rides,
guys.
how they get built and everything. It's
Cotter pins.
It's not trustworthy. If you actually
Yeah,
said like
no.
when I haven't been to a carnival since a long, long time I've been on a carnival ride.
Do you want to give a disclaimer how you have such insight onto carnivals and carnies?
My ex was a carny. Or her
carnies.
family was carnies. They weren't bad people. They're not bad people. And carnies aren't actually bad people.
Small hands smell like cabbage.
They're not bad people. Leave them alone.
Small hands smell like cabbage.
They were okay, but I'm not going to talk crap about anybody. But
I will.
you know, everything is in the past is past for me. But I was on a carnival a couple times, and you get to see how these things are built, and you're pretty sure half of it is duct tape and gum, and then you wonder how the hell people don't die on these things.
They do though.
Look at the twister.
What's the twister?
The twister. The zipper. That's the one.
The zipper.
That is literally just a bunch of kingpins.
So the one my kid fell out of was the hammer.
Oh yeah, that was always fun.
Yeah, she fell during the ride. She fell out of the safety harness. If it wasn't for the carny beneath, in between spitting his chew and flirting with the really fat chick eating pig ears next to him.
Nice.
Or elephant ears. Sorry, elephant ears.
Yeah.
Those are the big. What do they call those in other countries? I don't know.
Don't be hating on it.
No, they're delicious. It's just flour and cinnamon.
Yeah.
Deep fried.
It's delicious.
So good.
It's good. I like it.
But she was like greasy chin and stuff. And
Hey, don't hate on big people. I am big.
The whole hammer thing is upside down. Kid falls out. Luckily, it's encaged, but she fell out of the safety harness. And the guy happened to look up just in time to see it and hit the kill switch on the ride. She won't ride that one anymore.
I would imagine. I would imagine.
But she slipped out because it's a bar that goes across the seat that holds you in place. It didn't hold her in place.
Carnival rides are not safe.
I'm just curious as to remember the Gravitron?
Oh, I love that.
That was always
thing.
my favorite as a kid. Well,
I rode
now
the thing
they
like-
have one that isn't that anymore.
I rode that 80 times in a row once.
Oh, dude.
That's my brain is not
It's
working
no longer
anymore.
safe. They got rid of the Gravitron, and now it's a Gravitron, but it has an open top, and it goes sideways up on a cantilever.
That's actually an old school one.
That's a
isn't it?
real
It's
good
been
way to
around forever.
toss somebody the fuck out of it is what that is.
Yeah, that's
Centrifugal force
fantastic.
is kind of a strange thing, and we used to get up and stand on it, and there's no harnesses in this thing. So yeah, carnivals are the devil.
Carnivals are the devil. That's what this is what Vanishing Gates wants you to know in this episode.
If you're a carny, we
Carnivals
don't
are the
hate you.
devil.
In fact, if you're a carny and you're listening to this, please feel free to let us know some of your cool ass carny stories about ghosts, and because you are the most superstitious people next.
And you
next
travel
to
a lot, so
fishermen.
you'll see some stuff.
Hell yeah,
Sleep in some weird places.
you know I guarantee you know at least one serial killer if you're a carny,
Oh yeah, one. You know one.
or you at least met him.
Or one who could be
So
a
we
serial
want to
killer.
hear from you. vanishinggates@gmail.com. Please hit us up. If you don't have email, then find us on Facebook. Follow.
Don't find us at home though.
Yeah, don't come to my house. I'll shoot you.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I will too.
Yeah, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't stop until you stop moving. Because that's the way of the Lord.
In the words of some people, I'll stop when I run out of bullets.
I don't know how you do that.
I don't know either.
Run out of bullets. I'm not going to run out of arrows and knives. I don't have to reload my sword. Oh, that's the
Don't have to reload this.
nerdiest thing I've ever said in my life.
Anyway, so
So back to the Manson family.
back to the Manson family. I feel like there's some merit to the idea that they were being pumped LSD and they were sent off to do something, because I mean,
I don't disagree with you.
when there was after the fact of the trial, right? When they were releasing information, there was one guy, the Joe Rogan thing. He was doing an interview with the dude Vince Giulio or
I can't remember.
Giulio. He was the prosecutor, the primary prosecutor, right? And he did an interview, and the guy was talking to him and told him, because this book that I was going to read was the after the fact, basically. He interviewed Vince, and he'd been looking into all this stuff to see what's going on, and apparently there was a video, and this is why I don't believe that Sharon Tate was really sad, because about what's his face leaving Roman Polanski, because he was a horrible human being.
Oh yeah, we talked about pedophiles in Hollywood last episode.
He is probably
That's one of them.
the premier.
The premiere.
He
The
won't.
start of it.
He
No,
will
I
never.
don't think it started.
He never would return to the United States, and if he's still alive, I think he will never ever
I don't
return.
know. I don't think he is.
He was supposed to be extradited, but he'll never come back to the United States. He'll die overseas.
He just Harvey Weinsteined up with little kids a lot.
Oh, it wasn't just that, but apparently he was a fucking monster to Sharon Tate.
Well, probably.
He did horrible things to her.
Yeah, but
And-
that doesn't mean she didn't have some kind of Stockholm syndrome.
Probably, but after the fact, apparently they said that this video that was released, or there was a video that was involved. They found in a cubby or some kind of an some kind of a high shelf. Something they found it somewhere in the house, And Polanski didn't know that they had found it, I guess. And when they released information, it was that it was a video between him and Sharon Tate doing stuff. And what he was told after the fact was
Sharon or Shannon?
that was it what?
Was it Sharon or
Sharon?
Shannon?
I think it was Sharon Tate.
I can't remember which one it was which.
Oh yeah,
Isn't the other one married to Gene Simmons?
I'm not sure.
Pretty
Isn't that
sure
Misha
one's
Tate?
married to Gene Simmons. No, it's a Sharon or Shannon. I think.
Anyways,
I could be
Tate.
wrong. I could be totally wrong. I think that's actually like she's related to them or something.
But it was actually, but the video of Tate that was found in the house wasn't of Roman Polanski and her doing it. It was actually, she was being forced.
How fucked up would it be if we were saying the wrong Tate this entire fucking time?
That would suck. But apparently she was, isn't it
Could you
Sharon
imagine
Tate?
Gene Simmons showing up
Sharon
with just his
Tate.
lawyers and just looking at you like
I'm pretty sure it's Sharon Tate.
dressed like with his tongue out and shit, dressed like the demon but in a suit,
Oh, that'd be
wearing
weird.
the money bag logos. And his lawyers like, we're gonna have a talk.
I'd be like, can I have your autograph first?
Like, we can print a retraction.
we'll retract this. But anyways, so this video of Tate was actually of her being forced by two men to do something, and Polanski, whatever the hell you pronounce his name is, was actually filming.
Roman Polanski.
Roman Polanski was actually filming this instance,
I want to
and
say it was The Exorcist during that time.
They
'Cause
had
we talked about that being a cursed movie, remember?
yeah. Now we know why.
I don't know if it really was it? Did we actually talk about
The
that?
Exorcist. I think we talked
Was
about it.
Was
It's
it a
curse
cursed movie?
and how many people got hurt.
Was it Roman
Oh,
Polanski?
a lot of people got hurt. Yeah.
I'd have to remember. It's been like 5 years since
One
we did
guy,
the show.
I think the guy who played the original priest or whatever that got thrown down some stairs. Those flight of stairs he actually walks down in the movie. He got thrown down them.
Did
Anyway,
he
so
owe money to the mafia?
probably.
Well, that's why you fall down a flight of stairs. Bet on the wrong football team. We're in London.
So, anyways, it was just
Do you support?
this movie was about, or the video that Polanski was filming wasn't consensual. It was her being forced to do stuff, and apparently a lot was coming out about how he had, how horrible he'd been to Tate. And the thing is it didn't really make sense to people after the fact. This guy, he's like, it's. I honestly understand that it doesn't make sense that the Manson family just randomly chose this house. Though it was previously owned by the person who denied them, even though they knew
choose it. They chose
they
it because
knew where the guy lived. The guy that had denied them, that had angered them in the first place.
That said, they were LSD'd out though,
Well, that's my point.
so they might have like. Okay, look,
It's
I'm
like
not
aiming.
trying to
It's like getting a
okay
guard dog.
anything.
It's
I'm
like
not
having
trying
a
to-
dog that you're trying to
Look,
attack and
I'm
then
not-
aiming it.
I'm not trying to be the devil's advocate for fucking Charles Manson, okay? That's not going to happen for me. I hate that guy. I think universally, pretty much everyone thinks he's a piece of shit. What I'm saying is, if they're doped out of their fucking gourd, and he said, oh, this person wronged me, and he goes and takes a fucking LSD slumber, and they go, hey, we can help and make him happy by going where that place is and doing some work.
Well, it's.
You know, that's what I'm saying. Brian Wilson, that's who it was from the Beach Boys.
I think he introduced him, but it wasn't the
No, I'm just
producer.
saying that's the guys from the Beach Boys. That's the Wilson. Brian Wilson.
But
Is it Wilson?
I think so.
I should fucking double check that before I fucking say that. Let me
So
Google.
the point is that after the fact, when they were talking about, they were talking to him about the fact that he had these people go do this murder. They were talking. They asked him.
I
They
was
said,
right.
you know, he was talking to the guy, the prosecutor Vince, who wrote the book. And they were like, "Well, do you believe? Why did he do this? Do you think he believed all this stuff, the Helter Skelter?" And he said, "Charlie, no, he didn't believe it, but the people he sent off to do it did."
Well, you can say that all you want. It doesn't mean that it's fucking true.
Well, it's interesting that the guy was not at the scene of the crime, and they actually don't necessarily have much pinning him to this.
That's the whole point. Is that?
So
that's what
why?
My point is that's why that he was like.
Why did he live the rest of his life in jail when he didn't necessarily have
Because
to?
he knew if he'd get out, he'd get fucking murdered.
Would he?
Yes, a lot in the face. He was getting death threats on the daily.
Everybody gets death threats.
I think it's weird that he conceived a child whilst in captivity.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he didn't conceive it. The woman he fucked did. It's even weirder that she got conjugal visions when he was so dangerous. Here's the other part of the myth that gets me. What you're telling me is this guy was so dangerous they wouldn't let prison guards be around him for more than a couple of hours or their minds be corrupted, but they'd allow a conjugal visit for her and her get pregnant in that amount of time? No, give me a fucking break.
Here's the theory around it, right?
There's too much around this. It just doesn't make any fucking sense.
Here's the theory around it, right? The point is that what they were saying was that the CIA was attempting to end this summer of love movement where people were just turning into hippies. And they were going to live in like individual farms and off the grid.
Bro, I hate to break this to you.
And they were doing their own thing.
Started that shit.
Well, the theory is that CIA was trying to stop it.
Well, I think they started it. I don't think they were trying to stop it.
Well, they did stop it really quickly after
really.
Charles Manson.
No, it was still going on.
No, not much. That was pretty much the end of the hippie movement. And that's why he became the face of it all.
So what you're saying is he's the reason, or the CIA is the reason that Jefferson Airplane went to become Starship later on?
You leave Jefferson Airplane
and they went from White Rabbit to We Built This City because of that?
You leave them out of this.
Summer Love is over. Let's do the summer synthetic rock music. That's a really Halloween episode right there, bro. That's some scary shit. So, did you just burn yourself? You just burnt yourself. How did you burn yourself?
Ash.
You ashed yourself?
Stop.
Jesus, ash again. It won't. It's spring. Stop hitting it really hard.
So the point is that there's this, that's the theory around it. You know what I think happened though? I think Charles Manson's a freaking nut job. I think it's easy to convince people who are on drugs to do stuff. I think people look for a quote unquote God wherever they can find one, and I think that's what they did with Charles Manson. I think Charles Manson was a man with an ego. And he believed he could get away with it, and he sent a bunch of people to kill people. And I agree with the idea that it was a Hollywood hub because it was Roman Polanski's house. Sharon Tate lived there. She was a huge star, and all these celebrities would come around. I think they thought they were going to get a party full of celebrities, and they wound up committing mass murder. I think they were going to get more influencers involved.
Do you think they were going to kill influencers?
Yeah, essentially.
It's one of those TikTok houses.
Yeah.
If I was a cult leader, I know where I'm sending people. Don't go do that.
No.
Don't do that.
No.
Vanishers? No. Bad.
No.
Don't.
Bad. Stop.
We don't do that. It's not worth our time. They'll obviously do it to themselves eventually.
We hunt ghosts. We don't hunt people.
Well,
unless they're horrible pedophile people. And then we hunt them down and hang them in the trees.
Depends on where.
We don't do it getting caught.
If I get invited to Serbia on a hunting trip, the first thing I'm worried about is, am I the prey? The second thing is the prey armed? Also, I would never go to Serbia.
No, I would not
intentionally.
Nope.
That said, if I end up in Serbia,
I'll send help.
You won't even know. If one of us ends up in Serbia, the other one will never find out about it. I can guarantee you that.
I have people.
In Serbia?
Mm-hmm.
Now you're on a watch list. Again.
Where's Serbia?
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's part of the ex-Soviet bloc.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've heard of Serbia, but I've never known where it was. Anyways.
It's not sorbet.
So the point is, I just think he was I honestly don't buy the conspiracy. I thought it was a fun, interesting little rabbit hole. I think he was just a lunatic who had an ego problem and thought he could just get away with it.
Yeah, I'm not...
That's about it.
Look, I'm not saying he's not some kind of weird Manchurian candidate kind of person. I'm sure he was experimented on by the government. Everyone else in that clinic was, so that's pretty much
and
obvious.
In prison.
The guy was a weirdo. I think he was actually in the army for a while. I think actually the first time he went to prison was because of something he did whilst in the army. I could be could be completely wrong. Double check it, guys, and hit me up, vanishinggates@gmail.com, and correct me, please.
With your stories.
Please send me the emails, because I want to hear these stories.
Yeah.
And what you guys have to say about it. That's really important to us.
Let us know.
And also, send us your horror movie suggestions. We'll read them on the air. If you write a little excerpt about what you think people should watch prior to Halloween.
Following Harvey's footsteps, like Event Horizon.
Hells to the yeah. Speaking of which, I should be on Harvey's show again next month. I was a guest on his show and basically dissolved his entire audience in one fell swoop.
Nice.
Yeah, so I should be back on there.
Nice.
Satire's
you got to dissolve the rest.
Yeah, Satire's not dead. Yeah, check it out.
Satire apparently is dead.
No, it's still alive, or we wouldn't be here. So, that said, let's do a show tomorrow, because I have another topic. I think we hit it tomorrow fresh.
I have stuff I have to do all day.
All day. What about the evening?
All day.
What about Monday?
Monday, I'll do.
Let's do a show Monday. I'll have this up for the podcasters. Those of you who like to watch the show and didn't catch it live, I'll have the podcast format up. I'll probably pull the audio tonight and put that up tomorrow or tonight. And then we'll plan on doing a show Monday because I have a topic along with our continuation of Bad People, Part 3 would be that one.
So,
do you want to keep doing the Bad People series, or do you want to like move on to something more paranormal again?
Bad People of Halloween.
Let's do like one more Bad People and see how that's received, and then we'll go to something more supernatural.
Yeah, if you guys don't like the Bad People, let us know.
Yeah, please let us know. You got to let us know, though. We have to hear back from you. We love it, the feedback.
And if there's any particular you want to hear about, let us know.
What's a good time Monday for you to do a show?
I have no idea.
We won't do it live, though. We'll just do the...
Probably 7 again.
Well, let's do it daytime Monday.
2 o'clock?
That's fine. No, is it? Yeah, that should be fine.
Probably around 2 o'clock.
Monday, 2 o'clock. We'll
1:30 or 2.
We'll figure it out. Anyway. Again, guys, thank you for listening to Vanishing Gates and watching.
Thank you indeed.
We appreciate it a lot. Keep in mind, Halloween is coming close upon us.
Yeah, and listen,
it's funny because we get as many listeners and viewers and downloads during December for our Christmas build-up as we do towards our Halloween episodes.
Christmas horror is weird. It can get weird.
It gets weirder than the Halloween horror.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
like some people are
Gryla the Christmas troll.
Yeah, that's weird.
And
Krampus.
Yeah, Krampus knocked. We do a Krampus knocked episode. We missed Beltane this year, which I feel bad about.
I don't know what that is, but okay.
Really?
I'm sad about it.
Okay.
Broken up.
Yeah, you see, you're very heartbroken. Anyway, so this has been Vanishing Gates. I'm Jay, and this is
Hyperactive Jack.
What was that?
Hyperactive Jack.
Hyperactive Jack?
Yeah.
Sounds like the under-enthused Jack.
I'm hyperactive. ASMR. Vanishing Gates.
Anyway, you want to do your thing?
Goodbye, everybody.
And good nightmares.